parallel and perpendicular lines, by the time we're done with you, you're gonna be as comfortable as this guy. All right, mathletes, so let's look at these parallel and perpendicular lines because you're gonna use them all the time, all right? So make sure you subscribe, like, and let's get down to business. All right, so here we go. Parallel lines, right? We have two lines that never cross because they have the same slope, all right? And I know a lot of you guys have homework questions where you're like, tell me if these lines are parallel, right? Just like these, or if they're perpendicular. And when they say perpendicular, they cross and they form these right angles, right? It looks like an L where they cross, right? Like a perfect L, a right angle here, all right? So we're gonna look at how do we identify if they're parallel and perpendicular, right? And the key, I'm gonna tell you right now, so write it down. When they give you two lines, when they give you the equations, the first thing you must do is make sure you solve for y, right? If possible, because it might not have a y. And we'll talk about that in a later video, right? So make sure y is isolated and get it in y equals mx plus b form, slope-intercept form, all right? That's gonna be key. And if you still have trouble solving for y, then that's what you need to practice, all right? And again, we got your back. We have all kinds of videos, so check us out, all right? So let's dive in here and let me give you the clues of how are you gonna know if these lines are parallel and perpendicular so you don't end up like this guy. All right, mathletes, so let's go ahead, let's jump in here. So if our lines are parallel, right, then their slopes are the same. That's what we just talked about. So here we could see both of these slopes here. I'll go up 3, right 5. So this slope is 3 over 5. And this slope, if I pick 2 points, I would have to go up 3, run 5, right, to the right 5 to get to that next point. So these slopes are the same, right? So what we're gonna need to do is we have these two lines here, right? And what we're gonna do is we need to find the slope of these two lines because you're not always gonna be given a graph of these lines, right? So let's go ahead and let's solve for y, just like we said. So the first one's nice and easy. I'm just gonna divide everything here by 5. So again, the big goal is no matter what they give you, make sure y is by itself. So again, write those notes down because again, you might remember right now, but in 5 minutes, you might forget. So your notes are gonna save you. So boom, notice my slope here is always next to the x when the y is by itself. So let me go ahead and highlight that mother sucker for you. Boom. So 3/5. So there is our m, our slope, right? And now let's go over here to our second equation and let's get y by itself. So let's subtract 10 from both sides. All right, and then we don't forget to cancel these bad boys. So you're left with 5y equaling 3x minus 10. Divide both sides by 5, right? Divide by 5, divide by 5, divide by 5. You get a 5, and you get a 5, and you get a 5. And so you're left with y equals 3/5, sorry for that messy 3, minus 2, right? I could simplify that. And look at what we have here. The slope is also 3/5. So the slope is always next to the x. So once you have it in this format, y equals mx plus b, you grab the slope, and when they are the same, you know those lines are parallel. Man, that deserves a like. Go ahead and smash that like button. If you did already, don't touch it. Don't touch it, leave it alone. All right, let's take a look at those perpendicular lines. Follow me. All right, folks, how in the heck do we know if these lines are perpendicular? So these aren't gonna match this graph, but again, it's the same idea. So what happens when they don't give you the graph? Right here, I'm just giving you the equations. So let's read this. If lines are perpendicular, right? Perpendicular, then their slopes are the negative, so they're opposite signs, reciprocals, right? If you just flip the numbers, right? So if you have 6 over 7, we flip that becomes 7 over 6. So those are the reciprocals, right? They're the flip of each other. And if you have a whole number, make sure you write it over 1 so that when you flip it, it becomes 1 over that number. All right, so there's a pro tip for you. So let's look at these. All right, so are these perpendicular? So we need to solve for y, don't forget that. So we're gonna subtract 2x from both sides. All right, so we get 4y equals negative 2x plus 4. All right, we need the y by itself. Divide both sides by 4. You get a 4, you get a 4, and you get a 4. And I always want you to simplify the fractions as much as possible. All right, so I can divide both of these by 2, right? So I'm going to divide both of them by 2. So I get negative 1x over 2. And I get people asking all the time, you could write the x on top or you could write it off to the side. It doesn't matter. All right. And then we add 1. And then we're going to go ahead and solve this one for y, because now I know the slope here is negative 1/2, because the slope is always next to the x. Remember that. All right, so I'm going to subtract 4x here, subtract 4x here, and we get negative 2y equals negative 4x plus 4. Right, we're going to divide both sides by negative 2, and negative 2. Always be careful with your signs. What I see a lot of people doing is, if that's a negative, they'll just drop the 2y and they'll forget the negative. That's a huge mistake, and that's going to lead to a lot of problems. All right. Sometimes they'll lead you down the wrong path in life. So be careful. All right. So make sure be careful with your signs. So you're left with 2x minus 2. And so what did I say earlier? Boom. Put that over 1 so that when you're looking at these, you're seeing, are they the opposite reciprocals? Because obviously these are not the same slopes, right? They're not parallel. So here my slope is negative 1/2, and here my slope is at the opposite sign. Yes. Are they the flip of each other? Absolutely. So these two lines right here are perpendicular. And again, this is not the graph. This is just a picture of what perpendicular lines look like, all right? Because again, you're not always gonna be given a graph. So again, write these notes down. This is money, right? This is gonna help you out with perpendicular and parallel lines. All right, mathletes, hopefully you found this helpful, right? Don't forget to subscribe, like, and we'll see you guys in our next video. Peace. All right, mathletes, thanks for watching. And again, if you like this video, we have some other videos that we think you might enjoy. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.